Good morning. This morning in my study of Romans 8, I'm looking at verses 5 through 8, where Paul is comparing those who are according to the flesh versus those who are according to the Spirit and the things of the Spirit. He says, those who are according to the flesh set their minds on the things of the flesh. And at first I was thinking about that, and I thought, well, okay, that's making sure you're fed, making sure you're rested, making sure your body can get the things done that you want to be able to do, making sure you're clothed, your basic needs are taken care of, making sure you're happy and those around you are happy. And that's a small part of it. I think driving a little deeper, he says, for those who are according to the flesh, set their minds on the things of the flesh. So, to me, that is all or the vast majority of what a person thinks about. Perhaps that's what all our goals in life are. Is all about fleshly stuff and comfort and ease, that sort of thing. But those who are according to the Spirit set their minds on the things of the Spirit. Things of the Spirit would be hearing the Spirit's voice, staying in sync with the Spirit, learning from the Spirit. And that's where things like fasting and Bible study, prayer, works of service, all of that can be led by the Spirit for us to set aside the fleshly stuff and say, hey, here's what is most important in my life, and that's the work of the Spirit. Verse 6, for the mind set on the flesh is death. Wow, that's big. So if all we're set on is our physical bodily needs, all of that is going to die. We like to think of that as eternal. And, this is the most important thing, taking care of myself, looking out for number one, watching over my life here and now. And that kind of a focus is killer. Every time a close family member or a friend dies, it's like getting hit with a baseball bat, because we realize we're challenged that this physical stuff isn't eternal, isn't all that important, and that other things can be and are more important. The mindset on the flesh is death. It's killer. It's focusing on something that's going to end. But the mind set on the Spirit is life and peace. When we concentrate on that eternal part of us, when we make that the main focus, that my life is not so much about my life on this earth and in this time, but it's about an eternity with God and in the Spirit. And I, through Christ, am going to become so much more than I can anticipate now. And keeping that focus, that gives us peace, right? I mean, whatever happens in the flesh now, a lot of you know I have crappy knees, and they're starting to, even after my knee replacements, they're starting to say, hey, whoa, things are still a mess down here, and but that's not who I am. That's just a thing, that's something that is going to pass away. Now, 7, because the mind set on the flesh is hostile toward God. We don't want God on the playing field. If our physical bodies, our comfort, our happiness is number one, because he might invade that space. He might make a claim on it and say, yeah, I know you want to do this, this, and this, but I'm going to put a claim on your time right now because I'm God and you're not. You want to do this to make your flesh happy, but I'm saying, no, you're not supposed to do that. That is outside of the bounds that I designed for you, Ed. Man, if I'm not living in the Spirit, those are words that I'm going to let go right in here and come right out there. I might talk a good game in public, I might put on a good face. I might even fool myself, but down in my heart, I would be hostile toward God making those claims on me. Paul goes on, for it does not subject itself to the law of God, for it is not even able to do so. And those who are in the flesh cannot please God. And this is Paul writing this, who was Saul, this great Pharisee who took pride in keeping God's law and getting it right. And here he is saying, when I was living like that, when I was just concentrating on physical stuff with the law, I wasn't getting it at all. I wasn't subjected to God, period. And so we have to be very careful. I have to be very careful that I'm not playing a game and even fooling myself that I have life in the Spirit when really it's just about my needs, my physical body, what I want. Because life in the Spirit means that I am so in tune with God that he can speak into my life at any time, and I'm going to hear that. That's the first thing, right? Is to learn how to listen, both in prayer and in our day-to-day lives. And I'm going to respond to that in ways that are healthy to him and building up my spiritual life, maybe even at the expense of my physical life. Life in the Spirit. Paul is like, you got to get out of the car that you're in now and get in a whole different mode of transport. Life in the Spirit. Anyway, hope you're getting something out of this passage, trip through Romans 8 with me. Have a good one. Bye.